If I know most people have said we haven't done well as a nation, cast your mind back from 1960 to when we became a republic in 63. And if you ask me, maybe we haven't done too badly. I know most people will not agree with me. Military incursion into politics has not helped us a great deal. But even with the misadventure, I think we have taken the right steps. All I think we should do right now is to talk to ourselves. I have read many books, and I've also heard so many motivational speakers say there's nothing wrong in making mistakes. That if you have never gone bankrupt, or if you have never lost an election, or you have never failed in business, then be wary of any of those things happening. So if we have had missteps in the past, I think it's going to help us to get it right. I say this because of the last election in Edo State. Whoever believed that everybody will allow for a free process, INEC was up to their game. Same thing with the security agencies. Today, everybody is celebrating the president. And you can't tell me that the president is not enjoying what is happening today. So if we continue in this spirit, in a very short while, in less than 2 weeks, in short, in 11 days from now, we're going to have Ondo. And without federal might, you allow the people's will to come through in that election. Then you have Anambra, and that happens. And then you have Ekiti, you have Oshun, then you have the 2023, and then we have a seamless handover. I can tell you, when that happens, you will see things begin to change so rapidly that it will even surprise us. So most of the issues we are having today is because people don't have faith in the system, from banditry to kidnapping and all that. But if we can just get our electoral system right and begin to build institutions, I can tell you in 5 years, we can compete with any nation in the world. Any nation in the world.
For me, it comes with mixed feelings. First and foremost, I'm happy that God has given us the grace to remain as one sovereign nation for 60 years. However, I'm quite sad about our rate of development, and I believe there's more to be desired, considering the amount of wealth God has blessed us with, considering the amount of not just physical wealth, but more importantly, intellectual wealth, human capacity God has blessed us with. I mean, there's more to be desired. Secondly, the level of insecurity. Growing up, and I remember with fond memory, something my father told me is that Nigerians love each other too much to think of killing each other. But today it's a different story. I guess it's a good thing that he's dead. He's not alive to actually see what our country has become. Thirdly, I want to toe the line of eminent scholars and leaders who have said our greatest problem is in leadership. We need to harp on our leadership potential. Thus far, there has been quite enormous effort on our leaders in the National Assembly to see that legislative actions are taken to channel our country in the right direction. And I just pray that the executive will indeed lend a listening ear to the legislature to make sure we're partners in progress in putting our country on the right trajectory. There's hope. There's hope. And I believe now is the time for us to rise and do what is desired to put our country on the proper footing.
Who claim that as a nation we have nothing to celebrate. For all the previous years, we've been privileged to enjoy the grace of God for keeping us alive, for keeping us healthy, for keeping us not only united as a nation in spite of all our various crises and challenges, but the fact that we've been able to live peacefully with one another. Crisis of whatever dimension is not alien or is not particular to Nigeria alone. I mean, understanding and misunderstanding is part of human phenomenon, and therefore you cannot begin to judge our country because there are crises. Yes, crises are reprehensible, they ought to be avoidable, but where they occur, we don't use that as a yardstick. As a nation, we have achieved a lot from independence, although I also believe very sincerely and frankly too that Nigeria ought to be more than where we are at the moment. But looking at our diversities, looking at all the challenges we inherited, the structure of the country which a lot of people have refused to believe in, make it actually difficult for the nation to have achieved what ordinarily we should have achieved. But for me, I don't see that as a problem. I see it as a challenge, and challenge are meant to be surmounted by individuals. And therefore, for me, Nigeria and Nigerians have every cause to celebrate. We have every cause to celebrate for the attainment of 60 at peace. We have everything to celebrate at 60 because Nigeria have provided fundamental leadership in so many spheres of life that we need to turn up and thank God and plan to continue to move forward in a positive direction.
Just as I said in my submission, ultimately, my wish is that we will take our place in committees of nations. We will rise up and indeed be the giants of Africa that we are, not only in word, but also in deed. We will be able to bequeath a country that is indeed industrialized, a country whose intellectual and human resources comes to bear and manifestation in the level of development that we ought to be in our nation, and a country whose natural resources will be justified because of our state of development. And of course, I wish Nigeria a very happy 60th birthday and many more years. And I pray that our latter years will be better than the former. Thank you very much.
Fathers were anchored on peace, unity, and progress of our own dear nation. So if we look at this trajectory, peace, unity, progress, then we actually assess where we're coming from. Are we united as a country? Are we living peacefully? The level of progress, is it anything to go by? I know you people are researchers by extension. Nigerians is a country that is full of problems and challenges. But the most important thing is, how are we going to surmount this challenge? I believe we have done enough, but there's room for improvement. After all, the concept of continuous improvement is key to nation building. That explains why there must be continuous creativity. In the olden days, we used to have typewriters. Typewriters to analog computers and to digital computers. So there's no way we have enough because it is a continuum. But I believe there's room for improvement. We have done our possible best as a country. In olden days, to communicate with your fellow brother 2 kilometers away was a big challenge. But we boast of communicating to the world over in the Fiji. So I believe we're moving forward. We shall continue to do so. The policies of the present government, which is anchored on poverty alleviation, zero corruption, and infrastructure development must be developed, not just only as a mirage, but as a tool for nation building.